Thank you for listening to Radio Caledon at 102.7 FM in Caledon East and Palgrave, at 105.5 FM in the village of Bolton, and on the World Wide Web at www.radiocaledon.com.
And welcome back, Caledon, to Radio Caledon. The studio here at Radio Caledon in the last few minutes has been, shall we call it, invaded by the wonderful members of the Blackhorse Village Players Theatre, who are here to talk to us about their upcoming production. And I have with me director Kate Horzempa. And Kate, would you like to introduce this production that's going to be invading Caledon shortly?
Sure. Hello. The production is Goodnight Desdemona, Good Morning Juliet. It's written by Ann-Marie MacDonald, which is a Canadian playwright. And it actually won the Governor General's Award in 1990, so it's a really well-written piece. And it's about a professor's assistant named Constance Leadbelly who has a thesis that Othello and Romeo and Juliet were actually originally comedies that Shakespeare stole and turned into tragedies by taking out the fool. In arguing this, she ends up getting sucked into the worlds of Othello and Romeo and Juliet and becomes the fool, making them comedies, and then craziness ensues.
Much hilarity ensues. The production of Goodnight Desdemona, Good Morning Juliet. This is a production that I gather you've had a lot of fun putting together. For those who perhaps hear the word Shakespeare and cling to the wall or shy away, this is a really unique look at Shakespearean production and a lot of fun going on. How big is the cast? How many? I shouldn't say how many characters, because I know a number of the cast play more than one character, and there's a multitude of characters in the room right now. But how many cast members do you have in the production?
There's 5 cast members in total, and in studio we have 3 of those.
Playing how many roles?
Well, in total there are 16 characters, or 15 or 16. One actor gets it sort of easy. She gets to play the lead, and she's the same the whole time. But everybody else takes on at least 3 different roles.
So that must be challenging for the actors, and some of them are in the room here with me in the studio. And Joanne Pulver is one of the actors in this production. And Joanne, I wondered if you would like to tell us, who are the characters you play, first of all? How many characters do you play?
I actually play 4 characters. I play one of the title roles of Desdemona. I also play Mercutio from Romeo and Juliet, as well as the male servant from Romeo and Juliet. And I also play Ramona, who happens to be from the here and now, the reality student.
And you have no problem with mixing things. It sounds really exciting and really fun, but it must get confusing at times.
There are confusions. I do play 2 male roles and 2 female roles, so I think the hardest part has been for mainly the costume people. I would say having to cover up being a female and going from a female to a male. We've been working really well with Kate and our stage managers, and we've all sat down and had quite a lot of read-throughs and just taken apart everything, and we're working really hard on our characters right now. So hopefully, there won't be too much of a problem of anyone noticing how many different roles we go through.
Before we go any further, probably it'd be a great idea if Kate, if you'd like to introduce the multitude of people and characters that are here with us today in the studio.
Sure. Well, in addition to Joanne, we also have Ashley Abbott, who is our Juliet, among others. We also have Jordi Dara, who plays Romeo, and again, etc. With us, we also have Vicky, our producer, Vicky Dreyer, and Sean Dara, our sound designer and actual music composer.
And that interests me quite a bit, Sean, because being a musician myself and having had the opportunity to score for live theater before, I found it a really great challenge and really exciting to hear my music in theater. I wondered how this experience has been for you, composing for a production.
Well, I've been doing a lot of composing over the years, and it's a little different from the stuff I usually do. Usually I write sort of comedic parodies, like Weird Al Yankovic style. I don't think there's any room for that in this play necessarily.
I don't know. From what I'm hearing,
I'm sure I can work something into that somehow. But it's mostly mood music is the kind of stuff I'm composing. So for certain scenes, there's for example, there's darker scenes, so I'm using sort of darker music for that, and then more upbeat music for the happier scenes.
So really, you're doing sort of an underscore to a variety of scenes?
Yeah, it's that idea. Plus, there's like little ambient sounds that I'm using, cannons blaring, and other stuff I don't want to give away too much. But
sounds like a lot of fun. Maybe we could swing over to Jordy.
Sure, certainly. All right, so
and Jordy, you're playing. There's a lot of people in this room, folks. Jordy, you're playing 107 characters or so.
108 actually. No, I'm playing 4 characters as well. I'm playing Romeo, Iago, Chorus, and Ghost. So all very different. So yeah, it's definitely going to be quite a task. Mostly the most difficult part will be the costume changes, for me at least, because I know that I have to go through them so many times. But
And so quickly.
But hopefully there will be some stagehands to dress and undress me quickly.
And if not, there'll be a second show within the show. Kate, if I can come back to you just for a minute, and if you could, for our audience, again, with the synopsis you gave earlier, add to that and perhaps give us a slight explanation of how in the world this play brings in so many different characters with only so few cast members.
Well, everybody's taken on the task of creating individual characters, even though, again, like you said, Jordy is playing 4 characters, but, I mean, he has to work on his different mannerisms, different accents, different postures, and things like that. But in addition to that, we also, like the others mentioned, have an amazing costume team that is helping us to differentiate between each one individually, and that adds to how they walk. You know, what shoes are they wearing? So the costume team and actually the rest of the production it's pretty fantastic. The number of people that we have working creatively together to make this, I would say, just extraordinary, surreal world.
So these characters now, are these characters all appearing out of Shakespearean plays, obviously? Are they all appearing in this main character's mind? Are these her thoughts, her dreams? How does that process?
Well, Constance gets sucked into her subconscious, really, and excuse me. So everybody that she meets is somewhere in her mind, and that allows us to go a little bit beyond what you might expect from a typical Shakespearean production, because it's not really a Shakespearean production. It's an Ann-Marie MacDonald production using Shakespearean text. So we get to go a little bit crazier and a little bit more, like I said, surreal.